Alright guys, well, it's going to be a little bit different than normal because I'm on my laptop and it's an Apple and it won't let me do the Google Meet the way I want to. So I'm going to do a YouTube video and just post it in the Google Classroom. So we're going to start with this quick problem. Again, we're talking about estimating and how we can estimate and use that to add positive and negative numbers. Louisa deposits $44.60 into her bank account on Tuesday morning. Tuesday afternoon, she withdraws $26.30 and $21.30. Does Louisa have more or less money on Tuesday night than she did on Monday night? How much more or less? So there's several questions there that we got to unwrap. The first thing we can look at is we can look at this problem on a number line. If you look on the number line, you'll see, and I'm going to have to put my hand out there so you can see it. You'll see that we have a negative 25 because we're estimating to the nearest $5. So negative 25, a negative 20. And then on the other side, we have a positive 45. Our zero line is right here, right? So we have two that are negative and one that is 45. And if you look closely, the two that are negative, when you round them, right, when you round them to $5, it's going to round to the nearest $5 rounds to negative 25, right? So it's right here, rounding to a negative, to the nearest 5 is negative 25 and negative 20. If we round to the nearest dollar, though, we only round that $26.30 only rounds down to $26 instead of $25. And we'll round all the way down, only down to 21. It'll actually round down to just 21 instead of rounding down to 20. And that's going to make a big difference in our estimate when we take a look at it on the next page. So the next page says to write and solve an equation to show the change in Louisa's account using values rounded to the nearest $5 and $10. And if you look on this paper I'm about to hold up, that's what I did. Right, so I'm just going to put it up there since I can't write it on here, right? So this is rounded to the nearest $5 on the left and to the nearest dollar on the right. And if you notice, to the nearest 5, when I add them up, I get negative 45 plus 45, and a total of 0. When you look on the right, to the nearest dollar, I have negative 21 plus negative 26, plus that positive 45. That estimate did not change, right? And then those two add up to negative 47 plus 45, which is negative 2. So it looks like we're going to have probably a slightly negative answer, right? So that's what the next question says. It says, what do the estimates tell us about whether Louisa has more or less money on Tuesday night than she had on Monday night? And they tell us that the estimates are going to tell us that the estimates look like Louisa will have either zero money, will have either less money or about the same. And it's most likely going to be a negative number, all right? So most likely going to be a negative change, all right? That's the explanation, right? Because of the rounding, it looks like we're going to be slightly negative. Because when we use the approximation that was a smaller error, we were in a negative answer. So number 4 says to write and solve an equation to show the change in her account using exact values. That's going to be right here. Number 4, exact value equation. We got negative 2630 plus negative 2130 plus 4460, and that gives us negative 4760 and 4460. What happened was this one went further negative and this one went less positive also. It went from 45, it went down 40 cents, and this one went 40 cents more negative, and we end up with a negative $3, right? So the next question says, does this equation tell whether Louisa had more or less money on Tuesday night than she did on Monday night? And to explain that, well, it shows that she had less money, right? the equation shows that she had $3 less, right? And the explanation is the actual total negative was $47.60, while the estimates were less. The estimates were less than that, but the actual positive money was only $44.60. So while the actual numbers were more negative, the actual positive number was also less than we had estimated. All right. And it says, how does solving the estimates help you solve the equation with exact values? Well, what it does is solving the estimates showed that we should have been looking for a slightly negative number, and by using using actual numbers, and therefore the answer we got of -3 was a reasonable answer. And I'm going to put that up here so you can read it, and then if you need to copy that onto your book, that's fine. That's what we're here for. And then the last thing for this lesson was the triad section, where you estimate -73.8 minus a -9, and then solve it. Remember, we're estimating, so we're going to estimate to the nearest 5, right? So on this one, the nearest 5 would be, well, I estimated to the nearest dollar. I'm sorry. I went to 74, all right? And then this went to 10, right? So you can use 75. You could actually go to the nearest 5 and do 75, or you can go to the nearest dollar and do 10. But either way, it's going to be keep, change, which means we're going to be adding that 10, not subtracting it. So 74 plus 10 is 84. And then doing the actual work, you get 73 minus 0.8 minus a -9, and 73.8 changes to 73.8 plus 9, and that is $82.08. 82.8. I don't think we're talking about money here. So again, the estimate of 84 shows that our answer of 82.8 is a reasonable answer. The next one is -17.7 divided by 3. Again, I rounded to the nearest whole number, with the nearest integer, which was -18. -18 divided by -3 is -6. Right? So we got a negative, actually that should be a -6. I left off my negative sign. All right. So it's a -6. And then the actual is when you divide -17 by 0.7 by 3, as you see over here, 3 goes into -17 -5 times, gets you 15, and then when you subtract that, you get 2.7, and that will go 9 times. So the actual answer is -5.9. Alright, so hopefully there aren't any questions. So I would like you to watch this video, and then tomorrow in class, bring your homework for this lesson, and that's in Google Classroom, what pages those are. I'm going to attach this video to Google Classroom. You'll bring your homework in, and then tomorrow I'll have a Google Meet during your class time, and then you can ask me questions as you need on the homework. All right, you guys have a good night.